Hey YouTube, I've had some requests to show what my jig looks like and how I built it to take this whiskey bottle, and we're going to score it and break it. The whiskey glass, we'll use the top part here for a guitar slide. So this is the jig I'm using right here. I'm only using this jig to break this one type of whiskey bottle. What I like about this bottle, it's got a long neck that I can use it for a guitar slide, and then this bottom section here is what I'm going to use for the whiskey glass. What I like about the bottle, it's got a real thick bottom part here that when you cut it into a glass, it just makes it for a nicer, better quality glass. So basically there's three components to my jig. I've got like the cradle, I guess you could call that, where the wheels where the bottle spins on. I have the end stop here, and then I have the cutter. So I guess we'll start with the wheels. I'm using a 1-inch caster wheels. It's a hard plastic, and the reason why I'm using the hard plastic wheels as opposed to a soft rubber is if you had hard rubber or soft rubber wheels and they weren't in line properly, they're a little bit skewed. When you're spinning the bottle, it would have a tendency to ride the bottle away from the stop here. So that's the reason why I'm using the hard plastic ones. This little bit of wiggle room here is actually good. It's still gonna spin, but that little bit of wiggle room is gonna compensate for any imperfections that you're gonna have in the glass bottle. And none of these bottles are a perfect cylinder. They're a little like oblong. You can see right here as I'm spinning it, it's not perfect. So the little bit of play in these wheels is a good thing. So when you're installing these wheels, what you want to do is you want to have these perpendicular or square to your stop, right? And while everything wants to be square, your cutter should be square to these wheels as well. But pretty much they're just 1-inch casters. Put on, the outside third of the bottle just so it holds it in. When I cut it, I put a little bit of pressure down, but pretty much that's what that does, these casters here. The stop, you want to have this stop perfectly square to the board. This top of the bottle right here is not perfect. So when you're rolling it, and this piece here is not square, if it was sitting back a little bit, your cutter, when you go to cut, it is going to make more of like it's not going to be a perfect loop. It's going to go this way and then come back, which is just going to make it way harder to finish the glass in the end, to get it flat. So pretty much you want this thing square to the bottom, and you want it square to your wheel alignment. And also what you want to do is you want to have this piece that it rides on, you want this piece to be at least as wide as the neck here. So you don't want it to ride off the side. So basically square, perpendicular, and all that good stuff. Okay, the cutter I've got here, the most important thing is you want to use a fresh cutter. You want this thing to be perfectly square to the bottle that you're cutting. Perfectly square, and you want no wiggle room here at all. Like this is tight, tight, tight. And what I've done here, this is just a replacement wheel for a ceramic tile cutter, like one of those manual cutters. And I've just tapped it into the wood here, and at the bottom I've just cut a portion of a piano hinge out. So when you go to cut, there is absolutely no wiggle room here at all. So when you go to cut, this thing is square to the bottle. It is going to make a perfect cut around the bottle here. And I'm only using I'm cutting the same bottle, so I've got the cutter here, and then I just take a screwdriver, take it out, unscrew this and then move it over here. Show you quick here. Just move it over to cut the glass slide. So it's pretty much that simple. Even if you're cutting different bottles, which I have, you can just make new holes into the wood. Not really a big deal. Again, you just want to keep it always perpendicular to the bottle. So this is what I'll do for when I cut the slide. Just screw this back down here, right? Put it in there, cut it, bam. So and then you go watch my other video and you'll learn how I did it anyways. There's lots of different ways to do it, but this system works for me, so it probably worked for you. So yeah, that's my jig.